today I have a good friend of mine, someone who is very, very versed in social media, in just the life coaching and mindset coaching industry. My homegirl, Ana, she is a business and mindset coach for women. That's what she really does. She really wants to help. I'm not going to say females because I feel like that's derogatory. She really wants to help women become great spiritual leaders, become great business leaders, and create the life of their dreams. So as of now, me saying that, I'm going to just hand it over to Ana. I'm going to let her talk a little bit about her backstory and just explain to everybody, how did she get to this point in her life?
Yes. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to meet you, and thank you for joining us.
Hey, you're not supposed to let them know about the curtain.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to let them
Yeah. So a little bit my background. I graduated communications in university, and I always was in the social media marketing space. I've worked in different digital marketing agencies, both online and in person. I've done a lot of marketing work, management work, and I just found that something was missing. Like there was a little piece of the puzzle that was missing. I always knew that my goal, or like what I was really aspired to do, was to help people and make a difference. And I found that through coaching. Coaching really allows you to ask a really powerful question and bring about a transformation into people's lives. And it's really a powerful, powerful thing. So I decided to pivot and become a coach. And here we are today.
Something that you just said that I thought was very interesting is you said from a young age, you knew that you wanted to help people. Like, what was that moment like?
Yeah, I felt like I've always known, because I've always been someone who's really like bubbly and energetic, and I just want to make people smile and make a difference in their day. And just the fact that I can do this small action in their day means a lot. So I thought to myself, what if I could totally transform their lives, basically? What if I can take it up a notch, you know? And I'm always this go-getter, and I always want to do more and more and more. So I just said to myself, like, why not get certified and help people like get the business that they want, the life that they want to live, break free from their 9 to 5 that they're miserable in, and really make this transformation, help them get to point A to point B. And I think it's like this, like I said, this next level.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. One thing that I wanted to bring up is as a business coach, and as you know, just because you're more a business coach now than a life coach, right? You're more you're pivoted towards more of the business realm. How important is communication for our world? Because you were a communications major in college, and you graduated. You know, she had a 4.0 grade point. I'm playing. She didn't. But yeah, so how important is communications for our world?
Yeah, it is like so important. It's like the base of everything. I feel like to be able to communicate a message very well will put you in front of the right people. Because when you know who you're talking to, it's so much easier to write your content or do a live stream, and really base your content based of what this person, like, what are their goals, their aspirations, what are their pain points, their desires, and communicating that in a way that it's compelling and that speaks to that person. It's so important. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to learn more about that, basically, and really apply it to my coaching business today and show my clients how to do it for them.
Going back to the importance of communication and just understanding your audience whenever you're delivering content, whenever you're distributing it and putting it out there, because you do have a marketing background as well. Is that kind of one and the same? Like, you know, I feel people try to take creative, like making the actual content, and the distributing of it, the packaging of it, the marketing of that content, and try to separate it. Do you think communication is like that channel? See, I'm using my education, that channel that bridges the gap between those two elements.
Yeah, definitely. You're totally right. I feel
Okay.
like communication is like the overall word or term that we use for it, but it encompasses so many different things. But I wouldn't say they're different. They're all related. It's like all like mashing up together. Like, yeah, they're all related.
But going back into this, and let's talk a little bit about marketing now, and just talk about variants of if you're a business coach, and you're trying to market your business, trying to market yourself. What would you say is the number one way? I know there's multiple ways. You can't really pinpoint which one's going to work the most. But what is the number one way to just get started, just to start doing something? I know one of your recent videos that you made, you were talking about starting. Just start. What would you say is that number one way for a business coach to just get started?
Yeah, that's a wonderful question.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that people have this idea in their head that they have to have money for ads, money for funnels, money for sales page, money to start a podcast, start this channel, or start this. No, but honestly, like you don't need any of this when you're first starting your business. Focus on knowing, like really get down to the nitty gritty of who your ideal client is. Reflect that in your content. Be consistent. Be in their face because you know where they're at, right? So be in their face every single day. And then engage with them in the DMs. Ask them questions like where they're at, where do they need support? Ask them if they want support, and offer to get on a call. Like that's how you are gonna build your pipeline and have your sales calls and everything. But yeah, basically what you need to do is that get clear on your ideal client and communicate it through content.
Let me give you a hypothetical situation. They might be your client. They might say, hey, I want to be as big as a Gary Vee or as an Evan Carmichael or as this guy or that guy, whoever it is. What would you say to them if they just started making content that was legit, par for par, the exact same stuff that the guy that they want to be is making? Like, what would be would you be like as honest as possible, like brutally honest with them? Or would you take it more of like, hey, maybe it's something where we need to have a bigger conversation here about why are you doing this and what are your goals?
Yeah, definitely having a deeper conversation around what is your true underlying motivation for doing that. Like getting clear on your why and why you're doing this. It's like 90% of the work, because those days where you're going to feel like, ugh, like shit, like I don't want to do this today. That's what you have to go back to every single day and keep pushing.
Yes.
So if your motivation is to be like Gary Vee or be like Ty Lopez or be like this guy or that guy, like if your goal is fame and money and all of that, like it can be a motivation, but I don't think it's a long-term motivation.
No. It's, especially when you try to monetize on your audience too early, or even try to monetize on your audience in general. That's my big thing. Is like you see a lot of these pretend authority figures or people that claim to have authority on Instagram, on Facebook, now on TikTok, because apparently everybody has to have a TikTok now. Exposing all of them, because Gary talks about that a lot, saying that there's this bubble when a lot of these fake entrepreneurs and fake authority figures are going to get exposed. They're going to get exposed because the stuff that they're doing is not authentic. They're just doing it for a paycheck. They're just doing it to pander and everything like that.
Personally, I don't really pay attention to those kind of people because I know they're not in it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like I do what I do because of the impact, because of like what I'm creating. And I feel like it's so much more rewarding to start small, start growing a small audience of people who truly like you and look up to you for inspiration or whatever it is. Like it's so much more powerful to have like a small audience that have like this huge million follower audience that you don't even know, like, if those people are like bots or whatever. Like, you don't if they're real people anyways. Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like for me, like personally, I really think that starting small, building your audience over time, and having those really highly engaged people looking up to you for advice or whatever it is, like, it's so much more powerful than having this huge audience that, you know, like, yes, you can monetize from it, but when you're just starting out, like my niche is like women who are starting out, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
don't focus on that so much. Like, your goal is to start small, start being consistent, start showing up, and the people will follow. Like, they will naturally follow.
Like you were saying about impact, I feel like impact is so important. It's so important because you need to realize the impact that you're putting out into the world. Because even like, regardless of what kind of content you're doing, regardless of what kind of impact, like what kind of audience you have and everything like that, you still have an impact with that content you're putting out in the world, because you're putting something out in the world for someone else to digest. And I think that that's when we get into a conversation about accountability and accountability of what we're doing. Like, how important is accountability to a brand, even for anyone that's a business owner, not just a business coach, but anyone that's a business owner.
So important. So important.
Hey, look at
I
everybody doing the
honestly,
stuff on social media. Yeah, these
yeah,
people that get in trouble.
yeah. Like, I honestly wouldn't know what I would do without my coach, you know, because I have my own coaches, you know, like,
Mhm.
I'm like supported in what I do in my mission. And when you do, like, when you are supported, it's so much more easier to just keep going at it and not give up on yourself. Because I feel like when you're isolated or alone and trying to do everything alone, it can get really overwhelming, and you start to overthink things, and like, you're not as productive as you could be if you would have someone there in your corner telling you, like, hey, what's up with that? Like, did you do your action step today? Did you do this? Did you do that? Like, are you on track? You know, like, you have to keep track also. So yeah, accountability is everything.
Shout out to you, Curtis. Great guy, and that's how we met. And one of the big things whenever he was like with us is he was talking about brands and branding and just the importance of, you know, posting every day, like you were saying, and be consistent and everything like that. What effect has these last 2 months had on your brand? From impact wise, just the your audience building, everything like that. Like, how big of an impact has that been in just a short amount of time? That's just 60 days. 60 days. How much impact has that had?
A lot. Like, it's a snowball effect.
Mm-hmm. I
It
could
is.
tell.
It is that
So,
people are expecting you, you know, like, they're expecting you to
mm-hmm.
post. So they know, like, they're expecting you, like, to show up and be there. So most of the time they already have, like, either questions or anything that they want to talk through. And it's just like, oh, like, it's so powerful because they know I'm going to be there, like, tomorrow at that time. So they're going to be there with me and watching my stuff and interacting. And it's just this snowball effect that, like, over time, all the efforts you're putting in, it's coming back to you. Like, when you put energy out, the energy comes back to you tenfold, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
just keep going at it. Like, it's not easy, but like, just keep going, and you're gonna see the results one way or another, you know?
Like, if somebody was interested in there, like if we had a young woman who was like, hey, I love business, I've learned a lot through my my business courses, and I want to become a business coach, what would that look like?
Yeah, so I basically have a program right now. It's 90 days, and
Okay.
we have 12 sessions together, plus Voxer access to me.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, like, all the support you need, all the accountability you need. And basically what I do with first-time clients is we sit down and we look at, okay, do they already have a business idea, or they have no idea what they want to do? So depending on where they are at, we work on that. So if you have no idea what you want to do, we really sit down and look at your skills, your experience, what kind of background do you have? And then we look at your passions, like, what are you passionate about? What are you fired up about? And then we crossfire those two together and we find a profitable online business that really speaks to you, because it's unique to you. It needs to be something that you're proud of, something that speaks to you, and basically we do that. But if you have an idea, if you've been working on an idea and it's just not giving you results right now, then what we do is we look at what you're currently doing and how we can modify, switch things or pivot things around to make it profitable for you to start getting clients. So it's really that process of really figuring out exactly where the person is at right now, what their goals are, where they want to be, and we always adjust depending on where they're at.
You were talking about attracting things to you. With the law of attraction. Now, for people that might not be familiar with the law of attraction is a personal belief system that what you put out into the world, you get back. Your thoughts controls your reality around you. Now, how big of an impact does the law of attraction have on your business, on your mindset, and on the path that you go down when you're coaching a lot of these new women that might be coming into your program and stuff like that?
Yeah, the law of attraction is huge. Basically,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you think, you're going to attract, because when you have a thought and that thought is either positive or negative, that's going to affect how you're going to take action at the end of the day. Because if you feel like shit, you're not going to take action. You're not going to feel good enough to take
Mm-hmm.
action. But when you feel fired up, when you feel motivated, when you feel great, happy, that
Energized.
yeah, exactly. That thought that you have, that happiness, really gonna like go into your feelings. You're gonna feel great, and then you're gonna take great action, and you're gonna get great results. So whatever you feel and think is really gonna impact what kind of results you're gonna have, but also how you approach things and how you see things. So whatever the situation might be, if you see it in a positive light and you give it good energy, that energy is going to come back to you. And like I said earlier, all the efforts you're putting in now is going to come back to you, because everything is energy. Money is energy. Everything is energy.
But there's a statistic saying that, these amount of businesses fail every year. And the reason why is because a lot of times people don't see the opportunity in these certain things. And you really touched upon that when you talked about the benefits of being in quarantine right now, that people are watching you. Would you say that's the biggest opportunity right now, that you should be making as much content as possible? What's your opinion on just that type of mindset during this?
Like it all goes back to what's important to you right now. What are your goals? What are your vision? If your vision is to leave your 9 to 5, if your vision is to be your own boss, if your vision is to create another stream of income for yourself, or if you've been laid off from work, or if you're now working from home and you're realizing, oh my gosh, like working, like being at home is the best thing. Like I want to like start something that I can work from home and do my own thing, So it really depends what you want to do. But honestly, if you need to take a break, take a break. Like there's no, like, it really depends. Honestly, I'm not going to say to people like, oh, you have to do this or do that, but it really depends. Like look at your goals, look at your vision, and do whatever it takes to support that vision. So if your vision is to create your own business and have your first few clients in, let's say, a month or two, then you have to start working on it today, So it really depends. Like if your vision is to resource yourself and just, work on yourself, then taking a break might be a good idea for you. So it really depends what you're looking for.
Saying that, you have to look at sometimes about like the pain points and the pressures that you have with building a business. What do you think are like the biggest pain points for someone who comes in saying, hey, I want to own my own business, I want to build this, I want to build that, regardless of what it is? What are those pain points and what do they look like?
Most of my clients, their biggest pain point is freedom. So basically the freedom of working from anywhere, the freedom of having more time for their family or their kids, the freedom to have more money basically, and work when they want to work and do what they want to do when they want to do it. So the biggest motivation for them is to work hard enough to be able to gain that freedom and not depend on a boss or work a 9 to 5 that they hate and where they feel miserable or unfulfilled. So yeah, I would say one of their biggest pain points is not having that independence with their money or their time or where they're at. And they want to like create that financial independence for themselves, and provide for their families.
Thank you, Ana, for coming in. And again, we're going to have all of her social media, everything that you need to know to find her: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. We're going to have it in the description box below. So definitely check it out. We're even going to have a link to her products and where you can find her coaching segments and everything like that. So that's going to be great. Again, Ana, it was fabulous having you here. It was great interviewing you.
Yeah, so don't hesitate. Send me a message. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Just find me with my name. Send me a message. I'll love to connect with you.
So it was so great to have you here. No problem. All right, guys. So if you did find value in this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video on all your social medias. And don't forget to just have a great day and believe in yourself, because believing in yourself is one of the biggest qualities that anyone can have, that anyone needs to be successful in this world. I'm signing off. I'm Antoine. That's Ana. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.